I'm going to do the Capricorn love reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate, and if it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate for you, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, so we're going to get an angel answers and romance card for overall energy, and then we're going to look at what are you struggling with within relationships or within the relationship with yourself, kind of the advice and where you're at now, and then the future energies as to what could be coming in for you. We're going to get some clarifiers and then close out with an oracle. All right, so I feel like this one. Forgiveness. Okay, that's a big one. That's an important one. Forgiveness. And then let's get a romance angel. Okay. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. All right, so that could be dependent on something or someone. Not feeling the freedom to make your own choices. Feeling that something else or someone else is affecting your choices, or you are giving someone else too much power. You are giving someone else the power to make choices for you. You are codependent on that person for them to make all the choices for you. Just some ideas that I'm throwing out there. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has to resonate with you. All right, so let's look at what are we struggling with here. Okay, Queen of Wands, definitely with codependency. Somebody taking all of your power, somebody taking all of your energy. Okay, we have Two of Cups. So within a relationship, and Ten of Cups. So I feel like it could be that you are struggling with that. Somebody may be feeling, you may be feeling that somebody else has the control, somebody else has the power, somebody is manipulating, somebody is... It could be that you want to get your power back within the relationship, right? Queen of Wands could be wanting to get your power back. So she could represent a couple different things. Is that somebody's taking all the power? It could be that you want to get your power back within the relationship. And how do you get this back on track in this Ten of Cups? Because we have these two people are facing each other, and then we have these two people are facing each other, and they're talking and they're communicating and they're feeling good and they're feeling happy. So I feel like it could be, how do you get this relationship back on track? And it could be forgiveness, could be a big part of it. And it could just be looking at codependency and how do we work through that? How do we get past that? How is that to be dealt with? All right, Two of Swords, kind of current energy, advice, things that maybe you could look at and do. We have Two of Swords, we have the Hermit, and we have the King of Swords. And I like this Hermit because it has the snake in the path, and it says that there is an obstacle, but he's looking at it and he's shining a light on it, and he's saying, how do I get past this? And the Hermit card, which is Virgo, is looking within and finding those answers and figuring out, how do I get past this? How do I move forward? And especially with this Two of Swords, is again, that's making a choice. Not ready to make a choice on something. I feel like it's something that you have to analyze, you have to look at, you have to think about. Definitely a lot of thinking, a lot of analyzing, a lot of figuring out right here, especially with the King of Swords, because he's someone who is analytical. Two of Swords is looking at the negative, looking at the positive, looking at, if I do this, then this happens. If I do that, that happens. But also not to get too stuck in your head to where you're overthinking, because that can become paralyzing too, right? That if you're just maybe not even making a decision, maybe you've put off making a decision on something, and that's kind of paralyzing you. And that's that Two of Swords right there, is that, okay, something has to be done, something has to change, something has to happen, and to not overthink. Sometimes we overthink situations, and that's kind of paralyzing, and it's like makes us feel stuck. And it's like, well, why am I overthinking? Am I overthinking because I don't want to deal with something, because I don't want to face something? Am I putting that energy in to stop the progress of something? Lots to think about here. So I feel like there's definitely some things that you have to look at, and it could be maybe looking at, are you overthinking a situation? All right, so future energies, I love it. The Sun, what's coming in for you? The Sun, letting go of that Three of Cups and focusing on the Two of Cups, focusing on the relationship, right? Oh, and then we have the Lovers, which is Gemini. So, and then it could be Gemini here with the King of Swords. I definitely feel like things get back on track with the Sun card and the Lovers, and turning things around with that Five of Cups, that I definitely feel that things can get back on track. But that's something that you have to focus on, and that you have to work on, and that you have to decide what it is that you want to do moving forward. Is it working on the relationship? Is it leaving the relationship? Is it, changing dynamics within the relationship? What is it that's going to work for you? You have a lot to think about here, again, but don't overthink things. Six of Pentacles, sharing, and I feel like that is communicating, right? Communication is key. You have to figure out what you want to do first before you can move forward. You can't just kind of blindly move forward and agree to things and be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that, if that's not truly what you feel inside, because eventually that will come back around and cause more problems. So you have to figure out, how are you feeling? Where do you want to move on from here? What can your partner do to help you feel more safe, and to help you feel more secure, and help you feel like you want to move forward? And what do you need to give to your partner for that person to feel safe and secure and want to move forward? So that's what you have to figure out first before you can move forward, and then you move forward, because you have to be true to your feelings and be true to how you feel. You have to be honest with that, and sometimes that's hard, right? Forgiveness. Is there something that needs to be forgiven? Is that forgiveness right there? Does that snake represent forgiveness? Is there something that has to be forgiven, worked on? Is that what's blocking you? But looking within to say, okay, forgiveness, I have to move past something. What is it that I need in order to achieve forgiveness? But that's something that only you can answer. All right, Empress, which is growth. It can represent birth. It can represent marriage. It could represent that connection. Again, as I've said before, I feel like Empress represents a garden. And in order to have a garden, to grow a garden, you have to have the soil. You have to have water. You have to have sun. You have to, pull out the weeds. You have to tend to it. And I feel like that's tending to your garden of this relationship. Chariot, Cancer sign, moving forward. How do you move forward so that you don't end up in this position again, so that you're not facing this again? Five of Cups, definitely forgiveness. I feel like this Five of Cups is representing forgiveness here, having to be able to forgive. How is that achieved? And then focusing on the Two Cups there, right? And we have the Two Cups here, focusing on the relationship. If we hold on to things for too long, right, then that starts to affect the relationship. That affects ourselves. We start to put walls up. We start to put boundaries around. We start to back away. We start to close off. Then that person, the partner feels, or the friendship, whatever that represents, starts to feel that energy. So they start to do the same thing. And so then it just creates a bigger problem. Page of Cups, I feel like that is representing communication, feelings, emotions, exploring those, deciding how you feel, and then moving forward. Where do I go from here? So we have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands right there connecting each other. Lots for you to think about, lots for you to figure out, but you have to be true to your own feelings. You have to acknowledge those. Work, it's going to take some work to figure this out. Working on the relationship. If you don't work on it, then things will stay status quo, or they could be getting worse. Work has to be done to make those decisions on the direction that you want to go and to get this relationship back into a happy place. This could be a relationship that you've been in for a very long time, that you've known each other for a long time, and that maybe in the beginning, it was happy and it was playful and it was good, but it just kind of went away from that. And how do you get that back, that playfulness? What did you guys like to do? What did, hanging out and having fun? What were those things? Getting back to those things. Looking at the opportunity to make those changes. I feel like it's sort of the Four of Cups is going from that uninterested, I don't really care, to, okay, I want to care, I want to make some changes, I want to make some decisions, I want to work on this relationship, I want it to become more passionate, I want it to become more of a connection. This is something that is slow, steady progress, but it's progress towards the good, progress to positive changes. Temperance is going to take some time, it's going to take some compromise. There has to be compromises. Like I was saying over here, is what is it that you need from your partner, and what does your partner need from you? And that communication is incredibly important, so that it's a two-way communication, so that it's not just one-sided, that you're both working on this together. That's extremely important. Strength card, which is Leo, Temperance, which is Sagittarius. It's that confidence. And if you have something that's bothering you, and there's something that you want to discuss, that you have that confidence, that you're able to stand up for yourself and talk about it and discuss it, and to bring it to the forefront, so that you feel that it is acknowledged. Your feelings are acknowledged, or what it is that you want to talk about is acknowledged. And I feel that that's very important too, because I feel like maybe you're feeling like you're not being heard. All right, bottom of the deck, Seven of Pentacles, kind of questioning, where do we go from here? What do we do from here? Kind of looking at all of the positive things that had happened, and how do we get back to that place? Where do we move from here? Work has to be done, and then there's still some more work that needs to be done within this relationship. But that's up to you, and you have to figure out what is it that you need to move forward. What does this snake here represent? What is this blockage? Looking within to find those answers, and being true to how you feel. All right, so let's get a Lenormand. Forgiveness, right? Sometimes that's a really hard thing, but we have to make sure that if we say, I forgive you, that you're true to those feelings, that you don't just say it because you want to say it. You say it because you mean it. And you have forgiven, and you are moving on from it. All right, I love it. It's the woman with the rose, and I feel like that represents a relationship, and she's kind of thinking about the relationship. She's feeling good about it. She's feeling happy. She kind of has a smile on her face. She has a book, so learning about the relationship and what are those things that can be done to make sure that it stays in the, positive. It's not always going to be rainbows and unicorns. You're definitely going to have those challenges, but if you're able to handle those challenges quicker and better, and so that they don't fester and that people put walls up around, that makes a relationship better. That if you feel that you can talk about anything with your partner, that you feel, okay, yeah, I can talk about anything, even the hard stuff, that we can work through it. We will get through it because we are a partnership and we work together. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.